Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? So, let's see what this story is about here. It says here why it's not worth getting married anymore unless you're about to die. All right. It is one of the oldest institutions known to humanity. Not. With the first recorded instance dating from 2350 BC in Mesopotamia. Now, more than 4 millennia later, marriage could be on the verge of dying out. Oh boy. New figures from the Office for National Statistics. I don't think marriage is going to die out. I think the legal confinements of marriage is going to die out. The ones that's like actually the court sort of instituted marriages are going to die out because marriage didn't always exist in the form that it does today. Uh, showed that statistics show that for the first time, fewer than half of adults are in a marriage or civil partnership. And most of the people married nowadays are probably like way older people from a different generation that are still married. So they're still counting for the statistic. But new people getting married is probably way less than 50%. Uh, our civil partnership down from 50.6% in 2020 to 49.4% in 2022. So I'm guessing that's very significant for that to be that big of a change in a 2 year period. Otherwise, why would they even state it? Because that's barely anything. Anyways, that is 1%, though. It's exactly 1%. That's crazy. According to an analysis of the decline in marriages over a 50-year period by the think tank Civitas, the institution will all but disappear by 2060. I doubt it. It'll still exist in some form. When just one couple for every 400 adults will marry compared to one couple for every 100 now. Yeah, a drop of more than 70% in 2 generations, with the average cost of a wedding combined coming in at a staggering 18,000 pounds. It's unsurprising that many young couples are prioritizing saving for their house deposit or having children ahead of a ritual increasingly regarded as an outdated ahead of a ritual. Okay, increasingly regarded as outdated and unnecessary. I've always wondered that, because a lot of I think most marriages, or if not a lot of them, end because of financial issues. But people start off their marriages in debt, paying for a expensive ass wedding, a ring, dresses, uniform, the party, the venue, all of that stuff, and then the honeymoon on top of that. Like that is just insane. That is an insane way to even start anything. If they just skip all that nonsense, get the marriage, get the legal, whatever, you either get the legal thing or just a simple ceremony with your family. You could just invite them over, have a simple ceremony. It could be a short thing. You all celebrate together. You don't have to have freaking, you don't have to make a big event where everyone's has to have food that they're not going to eat and all this stuff and just sitting around talking. Uh, you just have a simple thing, and you just move on with your marriage. You save all that money that you would have spent, and then you use that for your marriage, for possibly for your future kids, whatever expenses comes up. You have that as you should be going to marriage with uh, with something in savings rather than at a deficit. But for some reason, people think the party is so much more exciting. They think about marriage, they think about the freaking wedding and all this nonsense that they have to do. I hate the traditionally minded people because they don't think. They're just like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go on dates and do this and do that. Just like, why do that? Just because that is the standard of how people do things is because they used to do it at a time where that's the most feasible way to do it. Now you have to make your life work for you. Tradition is a guideline. It's not a set standard of how things should go, right? So if you want to date a certain way and you think this is going to work best for your life, you should tailor it that way. If you want to get married a certain way and you think this would best work best for your life and have the best results going into the future, it should work that way. You don't just follow the goddamn guidelines like a blind sheep and then be surprised when things don't work out, because your plan was never meant to work out, because it didn't account for what the problems are going to come up in the future. And the problems in the future is going to be money, because you're now two people planning for more expensive things like a new home that you're going to live in as a couple, kids that you're going to have in the future. Like all those things are going to be expensive. So the last thing you want to do is spending money in the beginning when you're going to need money at the end. Just plan. Don't just follow steps. Plan. It's insane. It's 100% insane. And the worst part, especially if I'm gonna get married, I would never, in a legal way. I would get a ceremonial marriage or whatever the hell like that, but I wouldn't do it in a legal way, of getting the court documents and all that stuff. But I would never approve of that, especially if it's my duty to as the husband, and for me to be the head of the household. I would never approve of the expensive wedding on any of that stuff. I would be thinking about my family, and if she doesn't want to get married without all that expensive stuff, I'm like, then we don't get married. It's your desires is infringing on me doing my job, and I'm the one that's got to take care of everything. Otherwise, if it doesn't work out, all of those expenses, they fall on me anyways. So I'm just not having it. But a lot of dudes nowadays, they're just like, the party's for the woman. You're like, just let her plan everything. Let her have her day. She's a princess. And like, it's just like, why are you doing any of this? You don't want to do it. You know it's expensive. You know it's going to put you in a hole. Why are you not taking charge and saying, we're not doing this? Whatever. As the institution has rightly modernized, a marriage would have very little impact on our daily life or relationships, so I don't really see the point. The only part of marriage that I could feel like I'm missing out on is a wedding day. These idiots. The point is that two people come together to start a family, right? That's why you adopt the other person's last name. So that way now you all are a family, pretty much. Adoptive family is a thing that's always existed, and it's always been through marriage, right? So you're basically becoming one family, and you're moving together in life to achieve whatever your goals are that you wouldn't be able to achieve separately. It is very beneficial. Those things are beneficial. The wedding is not the benefit. The wedding is the wedding is just the appeal, right? The wedding is the thing on the poster. It's not the actual work that's going to come in afterhand, and the it's not the ultimate reward at the end. The ultimate reward at the end is a successful family, your children, your legacy, all of that stuff. People that are going to come and see you in your old age and going to take care of you when you grow old. That is the success. That is the goal. That is the benefits. The wedding is just the freaking advertisement, and it's just like prom. Like it happened. A lot of people get stuck in that glory moment and they talk about it, but nobody else really gives a shit. That is what the wedding is. Like, so silly. In 2024, we no longer need to marry in order to have sex, create alliances between families, acquire land, produce heirs, or for women, because ownership of property or wealth was impossible without it. Um, I guess that is true, but marriage is good to formalize an alliance, right? Between two people. You're going to say that together you're one family. You're pretty much doing all of that in one without all the other goddamn random paperwork and all that stuff. You're pretty much saying that you two are promising to work together to produce something that is both of yours, and basically something that you both want, or that you can't achieve without each other. It's a it's a good thing. right? It's not pointless, it's not useless. It is a good thing. The only problem is that nowadays people treat marriage as just another relationship, and they go in and out of them like they would if they were just girlfriend and boyfriend. And and I think the main reason for that is that the boyfriend and girlfriend stage that used to be back in the day, that used to be a very short-lived and period, is now the longest period of anyone's dating life. So they're just used to getting in and out of the relationships, and not and just like randomly, oh, I feel butterflies, I'm going to go get into this relationship. Oh, this person is cute and useful, and this person can pay my bills, I'm going to get in this relationship. They're so used to just like using people until they no longer have a use for them, that it becomes a habit. So that when they get in a marriage, they start doing those same things. And they're just getting into relationships and getting out of them. So it's a product of the dating and girlfriend boyfriend stage just being longer than it used to be. It used to be an intermediate stage that was very brief, and people usually only usually only really know marriage, and know it for how long it's lasted in their parents' lives, in the lives of their aunts, uncles, or even their own peers. So they've only known it for lasting a very long time. So it'd be very embarrassing for them to have a short marriage. So they stick it through in their marriages because they have it in their head that it's supposed to last for a long time. Nowadays, people know marriage is just for divorce. Like, you get married and you get divorced the next time. People just know it's a short-lived thing. So they see it as just a short period in their lives. So you got people saying they graduated from marriage and all this nonsense. But even as these reasons cease to carry the weight they once did, are practical considerations, primarily relating to the financial benefits of marriage, still enough to make it worthwhile? For Rebecca Seeley Harris, 57, God, you old, and Kenny Campbell, 56, the answer is a firm no. The couple live together at home in Devon and feel no need to marry, despite friends and family asking her frequently if he has proposed. That's a good deal right there, man. That's a good deal. You two, you live together. You pretty much they both probably have jobs, and they're just happy. That's good. And there's no pressure of like, oh, if if things aren't working out, I can just leave this person, pick up whatever, and just go to another person, especially at their age. Like, he's not worried that she's going to leave him and take half his stuff, and she's not worried that he's gonna he's gonna take her away from the workforce, and then he's gonna drop her for a younger woman. Like, there's none of that anxiety. You're just like two people working together, and you trust each other. There's actual trust instead of like a legal document saying that you have to trust this person or else consequence. When I was younger, all I wanted was to get married, to have what I saw as security, says Seeley Harris, an employment status expert and founder of the website My Power Attorney. Okay, so she got money. She got money. So marriage as security, she doesn't really need that security, and she trusts this guy, so she doesn't really need the security anymore. But I guarantee you, she didn't have a successful career and any of that stuff. She would definitely want that marriage. She would definitely be pushing for it. Uh, but she'll talk that good stuff now that everything is working out for her. But I guarantee you, he leaves her, and at her age, she starts trying to date again. That depressing, lonely feeling gonna overtake her, and she's gonna want a bigger commitment. She's gonna change her opinion. What I was really looking for was commitment and a great relationship, and now I have that with Kenny. I don't need marriage. Have made a will, but we both own a property on our own assets, and we don't have children together. So there's no financial impetus, impetus, impetus. There it is, impetus to marry each other. Okay, so they probably either she makes more or they make around the same amount, and she doesn't want to lose anything by marrying him, or there's nothing to really gain if they actually commingle their income. By contrast, Megan Lomax, 54, and her partner Guy Eaton, 57, had been together for 24 years when they married in 2015. We have two children, but the thought of having a big wedding always filled me with horror, says Lomax. Okay, so she didn't want the wedding. That's good. That's good. Everything about it, from the organization to the expense, just never felt right for me, and we were perfectly happy with our relationship as it was. Good, good goddamn job. Good job, people. Skip the goddamn expensive ass wedding. Skip all that nonsense. That's how you do it right there. The couple run a picnic blanket business. The hell? Together called Robust Stuff Pack Mat. The fuck? Rubber Stuff Pack Mat. And during meetings with their accountant, he advised them repeatedly to consider marrying. After my father died, I realized the huge levels of paperwork involved in the probate process, and I didn't want to leave a financial mess for the kids if one of us died. Okay, I see. Since they're not married, there's going to be a dispute about ownership and all that stuff because they both own the business together. Yeah. So we have got cheap slot on a Thursday morning on Hackney Town Hall and got married with just our children, my mom and Guy's parents watching. That's nice. They just have their parents there, their kids, just a small event. That's good stuff, man. I'm proud of these people. Matthew Humphreys, a divorce and family partner at Stewart's law firm, says that Britain's law on cohabitation are woefully out of date and that the concept of common law marriage, after living together for a certain period of time, a couple will have the same legal rights as married couple, is a myth. Oh, so they don't have the common law thing. All right, that's nice. Unfortunately, cohabitating couples with or without children are not recognized in law in the same way as those who are married or in civil partnership, and this can have major financial implications, he says. What are those implications and when do they come in? Children. Parents have joint responsibility for children, regardless of whether they're married or not, as long as their names are both on the birth certificate. However, says Humphreys, if you're married and the marriage breaks down, the financial remedies that are available to the family court are extensive, such as maintenance payments, lump sums, property assets, pensions, or trust arrangements. If you're unmarried, they are much more restricted and tend to be temporary. For instance, you might have a situation where the father is under obligation to provide accommodation for the children and the child's mother, but that will come to an end when the child finishes their education. Okay, so that sounds like child support. Once children reach the age of 18, the only difference lies in the way inheritance is passed down. In a married couple where the deceased partner doesn't have a will, everything passes to the surviving spouse. For an unmarried couple, assets go to the next of kin, children, parents, and siblings, not the partner. I don't see that as a major problem unless the parents end up disputing the claim and trying to take it away from the children, uh, or maybe the partner is in a dispute with the parents and they're trying to like see who gets the assets. That could be problematic. But if you trust your parents and you want your things to go to your children, and your relationship was already breaking down with your partner anyways, and you're not married, it's a good way to be. It's a good thing. It's not that bad. If one half of an unmarried couple owns a property, the other has no claim on it. I'm not mad at that. No matter how long they have been living together, each party's money, if held in individual bank accounts, will be theirs alone. And if they break up or one party dies, the other will not be entitled to any of it. The same applies to pension, savings accounts, and other policies if not taken out jointly. But what's preventing the mother or the father from just having it go to the children and then just get access through the children for that money? Entering into a cohabitation agreement, which sets out who owns what and how finances and property should be divided if you break up can be helpful. So, prenup. For married couples, money and property accumulate prior and during the marriage is viewed as part of the matrimonial pot, regardless of whether it is held in a separate account. If a couple divorces, all assets will be divided, although the average cost of divorce is around 14,500 euros, which will leave them diminished. God damn, that's a lot. That's just the average cost. That's not even the people that have big money and they're trying to divorce. Uh, there's no way. There's no goddamn way. Just to leave the person, it is gonna cost that much. And then if that was like, if that's like half of what they were gonna get in the divorce anyways, like you losing that to the lawyers and all this stuff, and then you get barely anything left after you just gonna leave both people just gonna be like freaking broke because somebody wanted to fight to take someone else's money. Bruh. Savings and investments can move freely between spouses without any risk of later inheritance tax or capital gains tax. There are small tax advantages to marriage. If one member of the couple has any unused personal allowance, they can transfer 10% of it to their spouse as long as they are a basic rate taxpayer. However, this will only save $250 per year. That's not really worth that much. Inheritance remains the biggest financial impetus, the word, for modern marriage due to the spousal exemption law, which means if one spouse dies, their assets can pass to the other without need to pay inheritance tax. Damn! Gotta pay tax on it. But if it's only for spouse, the children aren't covered. So, and who wants to just accumulate money just for their spouse? I wanted to go to my kids. I want a legacy, not a goddamn, a freaking investment partner that's just gonna benefit if I die. It was the primary reason for Lomax and Eaton's wedding. Our house is in Guy's name, so if he died while we were unmarried, I would have to sell it to pay the inheritance tax. Wow, damn. How expensive is the inheritance tax? Inheritance tax is currently 40% of any. Hell no. 40%? Why does the why does the state get that much of other people's money? For what reason? Yo, Europe is out of control. 40%. Like, imagine, bro, every time someone dies, the tax man comes to collect. They're like the Grim Reaper. They're like, oh, you died? Oh, you left some for your kids? Oh, let me get my 40%. Yeah, you kids can have. Here you go, kids. You have a little that crumbs there. Oh my God, that is insane, bro. No wonder we tossed their goddamn tea into the freaking harbor, man. Like you were insane. Yo, I want another civil war just for that kind of. Yo, yo, we Yo, the British had it coming, man. They had it coming. You were off your rocker. You were off. I can't even read anymore, man. That took the cake right there. Until next time.